Okay, now we're on page 12 of this 22-page review packet, so we're about halfway through. Not quite, because we skipped page 5. All right, a right triangle is shown below. What is the approximate value of the height? So I know an angle, I know a side, the hypotenuse, and I'm looking for h. I hate it when we have h over here and we have hypotenuse. That's so confusing. This is the opposite, all right? Yeah, I know, we got to use h. I hate it when we have letters repeating each other. So when we have opposite and hypotenuse over here, that trig function is sine. Sine of 60 degrees equals opposite over, oh, I hate that, over hypotenuse, 200. All right? This is just like the problem we did before. If I'm dividing h by 200, to undo that, I must multiply it by 200. So I have to do that to both sides. 200 simplify. H is just 200 times sine of 60. So I get my handy dandy calculator. 200 sine 60, enter. 173.205, roughly, approximately. And that's D. Voila. Now this next problem actually got me going for a little while, because remember we had those similar right triangles that were so difficult. I was thinking that this must be a 90-degree angle. But let's take a look. So first of all, we know that this is 12, there's 55, and they want to know what is this. So I'll call it x. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Well, they also tell me that these two sides are congruent. If those two sides are congruent, and notice how it forms a line, I can assume that this is a right angle. I cannot assume that this is a right angle. In fact, if this is an isosceles right, that has to be 45 degrees, and that's 45 degrees. So 45 degrees, 45 degrees. If I can find Km, then I can go and find x. So Km, if I want to find that side, I'm going to call this y. I know that I have the opposite and I have the adjacent. So tangent of 55 equals 12 over y. Now I can cross multiply. Y times tangent of 55 equals 12 times 1, which is 12. But I don't want y tangent of 55. I'm multiplying y by this thing. So I need to divide it by that thing. Tangent of 55. Tangent of 55. So y equals 12 over tangent of 55, which is approximately, let me go ahead and get my calculator, 12 divided by tangent 55, make sure you're in degrees, 8.402. You want to go, now notice they go to the tenths, go to like the thousandths or something. Go out farther. It won't hurt you to go out a couple digits farther. Or you could just use the number exactly in your calculator. So if y is 8.402, there are two ways I can do this. I can use similar right triangles. 1, 1, square root of 2. So if this is, see if I go 1 times 8.402, square root of 2 times 8.402. I know my answer is 8.402 times the square root of 2. So I can just take my calculator and go times second square root of 2. 11.88, which is this one. Now let's say you're like, oh, I don't like those special triangles. What else could you have done? You could have drawn a triangle, done 8.402, 8.402, done that, x, and you could have done the Pythagorean theorem, and it would have worked just fine. Last problem on this page. Katie, a gardener, needs to put grass seed on the triangle formed by the 3 rows below. Each side of the grass triangle is 350 feet long. If one bag of seed covers 10,000 square feet, how many bags will Katie need to buy? So I need to find the area. Area equals question mark, right? And I know each side is 350, 350, 350. What I really need for triangles is area is 1/2 base times height. And I can tell the base is 350. But what's the height? Well, if I cut this triangle in half right here, guess what I get? A height, h. So I'm going to draw this again. Just that part of the triangle. Height, 350. But is this 350? That's actually 175. Then I can use the handy dandy Pythagorean theorem. Or you might notice that this is a 60 30, right triangle. And that's like this one. 60. It's the 1, 2, square root of 3 triangle. And you can see, look, 1 times 2. 1 times 2. See, that's twice as much. You just take this number and multiply it by square root of 3. So I could say h equals 175 times square root of 3. Which happens to be 303, approximately. All right? Or I could do Pythagorean theorem. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it this with similar triangles. All right? And then, so I'm going to find the area. Area equals 1/2 big B times height. And 303, I've gone out 3 places. That's probably okay. 1/2 times 350 times 303. 350 times 303, then divide by 2, is 53,025. Now, I have to divide that by 10,000. Why 10,000? Because one bag can cover 10,000 feet. Square. I have to have 53,025 square feet divided by 10,000. All right? All right? So I get 5.3025. So the question is the answer 5 or 6? If I buy 5 bags, will I have enough? No, I'm only going to cover 50,000 square feet. So even though I'm going to have some leftovers, I need to buy 6 bags.